Hello, I'm Michael for GameWatcher.com and welcome to our Order of Battle Blitzkrieg review. Order of Battle World War II has received its 6th paid DLC expansion in the form of Blitzkrieg. Originally released in 2015, Order of Battle is a turn-based strategy war simulation game that focuses on recreating World War II battles and scenarios. Now, the game is touted as free to play, however that is a little bit disingenuous. The game is downloadable for free and players can play the boot camp tutorial and the first mission of every DLC campaign for free. Beyond that, however, all of the content is premium, requiring players to buy the campaigns individually. This leaves the base game little better than a demo, and with all the real meat of the game locked behind a paywall. The new Blitzkrieg campaign focuses on the German invasion of Poland in 1939 and places players in the role of the German forces. Starting with the conquest of Poland, the campaign features the defeat of the Franco-British alliance on the Western Front, the invasion of the Soviet Union, and finally the assault on Moscow in 1941. Now, Order of Battle Blitzkrieg packs in a host of new content that adds variety and some new features to the game. As strategy games go, the base game is solid mechanically, however it would be fair to say that this is something that isn't going to be everybody's particular cup of tea. There's plenty for strategy enthusiasts to get their teeth into in Blitzkrieg. There's plenty of single player content. The single player itself focuses on recreating real battles that occurred, placing you in the role of the German forces, so you'll get to experience battles like the Battle for Warsaw and several famous historical battles. Now, battles themselves will often start out with you holding a small group of units, and then it's up to you to decide on what strategy to employ. You can deploy tanks, infantry, planes and more, with an extensive unit list that has been added to with this expansion, with over 150 new units to allow more choice. Each mission gives you a budget to spend on new units, and what's great about starting with a small force each time is that the game gives you the opportunity to play how you see fit. Want to focus on air superiority? You can deploy a fleet to bomb the crap out of the entrenched enemy, or take to the ground with a battalion of tanks. The game leaves it completely up to the player on how they want to achieve victory. The game is a turn-based strategy, which leaves you moving and instructing each individual unit with instructions. While one of the greatest loves of video games is my turn-based strategy games, this inherently causes a large issue: time. The sheer amount of units that you'll end up deploying, not to mention the enemy's units, will leave battles going on for an extensive period of time. Long periods of time by themselves are not a major problem, but when you combine it with the fact that all you're actually doing in terms of mechanics is move, attack and heal, it becomes a relatively boring affair. Doing this leaves each mission feeling dragged out and shallow. There are no unit abilities, no interesting mechanics, and it essentially becomes a game of chess just without the tactical depth. There is, however, a lot to like about Order of Battle Blitzkrieg, including the changes to allow players to carry over their battle-hardened enemy armies from scenario to scenario, instead of having to start over again with a completely fresh, unexperienced army. Army progression has been an issue for players in the past, and now they will be able to carry over their experienced veterans. There's also the addition of specialization, which will allow you to spend points earned from completing objectives into specializing in certain things. So a lot of these specializations will usually give your units an improvement in some form, such as purchasing the tank skill, which will increase the effectiveness of your tanks, and it will give you an advantage on the battlefield. Now, it would be fair to say that while Order of Battle can be fun at times, it lacks the mechanical depth to keep anybody's retention over a long period of time. The core features of the combat are not expansive enough to keep things interesting on a regular, consistent basis. The problem with Order of Battle is that it starts out fun, at least to start with. After a few hours, the game just runs its course. You're left with a system that drains the enjoyment right out of you. I have no doubt that there will be people out there who will absolutely fall in love with this game, but the lack of mechanical depth even on a base level, is problematic. It doesn't matter how many new units, new maps, new story missions you add, if the base game always consists of attack, move, heal. It is always going to be a repetition from what came before. The length in which this causes single player missions to last is exhausting at best, and you can easily spend 30 minutes without completing the first objective of a mission. Now, like I said, there is a lot to like about this game, but there are problems in equal proportion. The expansion doesn't do anything to add to the game in terms of resolve its issues or add new mechanics to the game. It adds more content for those die-hard fans of the game, but it fails to do anything that would revitalise the system to attract new players. And that is our Order of Battle Blitzkrieg review. Thank you so much for watching. Head on over to GameWatcher.com for more, and we'll see you next time.